I gave you guys a video in reference to today's close. I told you in yesterday's video I doubt that they'll make it. However, I did tell you if they gap down, they could possibly, well, let's take a look in just a moment. Most view videos here, if you're new, live stars show how far the candle can pull back, the live candle can pull back before resuming. Price action tree, you just need to be able to count to 10. And then the price action method, I use the majority principle, which states that the minority is compelled to follow. The chart scale, you can look at your hard right edge, know where the market can become cyclical without having to look left. All right, so I did tell you guys that if they gap down, they probably can go ahead and get here. You just don't want them closing beneath that 28,994. Again, this is not off the table. The prices that I'm giving you, they are not off the table. I want to go ahead and say that to you. They just didn't make it to either side. And I did tell you in yesterday, I doubt that they'll close above here, but you can expect them to try to get there. Well, they're trying. They just haven't made it. All right, they haven't made it. So we're going to leave this in place for tomorrow, and then I'll just come back tomorrow, right around the same time, and I'll tell you what it is that I think may take place. Hopefully, they can get there before tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Hopefully, they can go ahead and get there. 79.50. This again is not off the table. They're going to come back here. I want to go ahead and say that to you. They'll be back here. They may get here first. They may get here first, but they're going to come back here. They left something back here that they're going to need to take care of, and so I do believe wholeheartedly they'll be back here at some point. Definitely if they aim back down, So if they aim back down, you can look for that. But they may go ahead and get there. They may go ahead. This may actually take a little bit longer than tomorrow as well if they don't increase this volatility. I know they kind of did that slow movement throughout last night, just kind of a lot of back and forth here. Now, that being the case, I did tell you guys on the channel here in the public space that whenever they make these overlapping scenarios, I talked about that in yesterday's video. Whenever you have this bar, the live candle, okay, whenever you have that mid falling into this prior bar, you're in chop. And it's just that simple. All right. I want to tell you that. Now, if they were to slow the market down, you're looking at least 4 bars of that. Okay, at least 4 bars of them doing that. So just kind of get ready for it. That's all. Get ready for it. These signals, primarily the one with the circle and the triangle, right? The one with the circle and the triangle is really important. You don't want them to close under that bar. They kind of overshot that, and then they made one here. Here's the low. You can look up here in this upper left-hand corner here. The low of that is 59.75, 359.75. They dove down 369. Okay, so 359.75, 369. So they came down for an hour, turned around, and now they're heading back up. All right, so they may still want to give that a run. And again, that signal with the arrow, you guys that have the suite, you have the bar color for the arrow as well as that circle, but I ended up making the text for the private community there, along with some other additional updates. I put that in the suite, and so if you receive the invite from my other channel, if you receive that invite this afternoon, it should have the link, the updated link with these changes below that video. All right, so the video is probably like 5 minutes long. Go ahead and click on that link and retain that updated version so you'll have the flexibility of the text as well as the arrow. Now, here are the names of them here. So the text is this, all right? And again, you already have the bar color for this. The only thing that I did change was the push, all right? So you have a push in your suite, but I actually took the bar color because that's what you're seeing with that triangle. You're seeing the actual bar color applied to the text. So I did alter the push text. I did. So if you're satisfied with the one that you currently have, then don't worry about getting that update. But yes, so yeah, the one with the circle, the triangle with the circle in concert, both together working tandemly, you could get it up the board. You just really want to go with that. Of course, they overshot this signal here. All right, this is the 15-minute. That was the hourly. They overshot the signal, but they did not close. So you get your low here, 81.50. Close at 85. They turned around, gave it to you again, both coming in here, and again they did not break this bar. They tried to flip this one. I mean, they came right up under it, closed under it. Not, I'm thinking, yeah, I get that, but we got a couple of them back here, and then they came back in here and they stalled a bit. Now they're trying to make their way back up. Here's your 5 minute with that same information here. I'm not going to dive through every scenario on each chart, but I just wanted to, of course, highlight what it is that I just put in the suite for those that may not be aware. And you're probably watching this video. I want you to know there's, of course, the updated version below the private community video. And this is for the members, the actual members that came over for the education. All right. So here's this morning. Dimitri, thank you so much, my friend. I cannot add the, there's two videos I actually made prior to that one. All of you may not view that. I only, of course, added those that had communicated with me that they're retaining the information and let me know how they were doing. So I made two additional videos outlining some methods on how to use. There's two other indicators I put in the indicator list. And so Dimitri actually reached out again just this morning, and he definitely conveyed to me that just with the last two videos, not the one from this morning that has the updated version, but two prior to that, that his results was what he wanted it to be. And I'm so thankful that you even conveyed that to me, my friend. I celebrate the fact that you've done that. I was unable to add it to this chart though, because that the one that's dealing with majority will probably give away too much details. All right, so but that's in the suite. All right, so that's in the suite. So those that wasn't able to view those two videos, I want you to go ahead and still pick up that suite, because that those indicators are in that suite. They're in there. So go ahead and take and update the suite there to your platform, and you'll have the additional changes. All right, I just want to make it personal to those that actually communicated with me that they were enjoying the information. All right, so and gave them a little bit more information. But here again, working in tandem, both signals, you really don't want them to close under any one of these bars with the arrow or the circle for that matter. But when they're working in tandem, it's really important. All right, I just want to tell you that. And you had it here, and then they kind of dove down. Now, as 9:30 began to approach, you had it here. They went under it. They didn't close. And then, of course, they hit this one. So then they ended up leaning back, actually hitting that one. I just tried to go ahead and mark it so you guys don't have to waste your time. It can show up on flips, so it can, of course, get it flipped, if they want to go that way. And, of course, again, here, it was on this push down, but then they flipped it, all right? And it was on this push up, and they flipped it, all right? So I want to let you know it can help you get it going, as well as it can allow for the market to turn and give you a heads up as to there's a potential change. All right, and of course you need to know how to read price. These are just tools that I make to give you guys a chance to have fun with your trading. All right, so here it is here it is here. On the micro, it was here on this bar, but it showed up here on the NQ. They pushed down. There's a couple of them here, a couple of them here, one into this bottom. They flipped it, all right, and then it came in on this side. You can kind of see it every time that red bar dropped back. It just picked it right back up. And then they got up here, and of course, there's that information there. I believe I left off on that video when I showed you guys this. I believe I left off right here, and then of course there was the rotation. I told you I don't know if that was going to work out, and of course they ended up pushing up back into that high. Turned the corner, gave you a couple of them, but then it came in again all together. Okay, we want the circle and the triangle here. They flipped that signal. Then it came in here. They managed to overshoot it. Of course, you don't want them to close beneath it. There's both of them there. There's both of them there, as you can see. And then, of course, they came over here. They put in one, drove down really quickly off that high. We know they're going through this high. We know that. We know that. All right. And of course, they drove under that bar, came back up, did not want to close, and pushed up again. And then you can see them getting active up here at this top. And then it came in again, and there it is here. And then, of course, on this decline, right here, you got it right here. They got under that, and then they came in here. I didn't mark this one, but here it is. All right, so then they came in on this one, and then they flipped it. There's the information here, 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 and there. They tried to flip that one, but it didn't stick. And then, of course, here's a couple of them right here. All right, and they got one here. Now, whether or not they're going to close under it, I have no idea. All right, I can't tell you. It's just they need not. All right, we'll go with that. Just need not close under that. They may very well might do that. Clearly, it's 15 seconds left, and they're beneath it. Now, whether or not they'll close, that's a whole nother ordeal. And you just got to see if they're going to do that. Candle's not slowing down, so maybe that's exactly what they plan to do. Now, if you're new to trading, I want to go ahead and explain to you what that means when it comes to looking at charts. You don't need any kind of indicators. The channel is meant to help you know that. All right, so the first thing that you're going to look for is a candle. All right, the live candle that's trading next to it. All right, so it can be going up or down, doesn't matter. The first thing that you'll want to do, you'll want to get that midpoint above that candle if you're going to go up. All right, now if you're going down, all right, so if you want to go down, you need to get the midpoint. Let me go this way. You need to get that midpoint to fall beneath that bar's low. All right, now should that happen, I got a pressure up here that will fire off and let you know that it's taking place. Midpoint above the high, okay, or midpoint below the low. All right, and that's what you want to see. If this shows up, the bar will turn green or red. All right, so it would turn green or red. Now, the next thing that you can look for on the chart, I want to make sure that you're able to read the chart without any kind of technical tools. That's what the channel is all about. You're looking for a big wick, smaller wick. All right, you're looking for a big wick, smaller wick. All right, that's what you're looking for. Now, the next thing that you'll want to find, if that's not available, which it should be, try to get a bar that can fit at least 2 times into this one. All right, try to get it to fit in there at least twice. The body, I want to make sure I tell you that. Now, you should be able to see at least 2 of these show up. Now, occasionally you would only see this one, but there should be at least 2 of these that will show up. It's just fantastic if you can get all 3. All right, so let me try to show you all 3. This is all 3. All right, that situation right there is all 3. You got the big wick, smaller wick. This body can fit in there twice, and the mid of this bar exceeded that bar's high. Okay, important. All right, so the market should go ahead and reward you and give you what you want. It was over here as well. So here, the bar is red. Okay, and that's important because that's this. Right. You got a big wick, no wick. That mid fell beneath that low. Okay, the bar turns red, and then go ahead and take that dive. All right, so that's important as well. Let's see if we got it on this high. Yes. Okay, so we got it up here as well. So here it is. We got it up here on this high. We got all 3 things showing up here. All right, so that's really important. All right, really important. Can it work without all 3? Absolutely. Absolutely, but the goal is to try to ensure that all 3 of them shows up. If it shows up, it's a very high chance that you can get your trade to work. All right, just want to go ahead and tell you that. All right, so that is my time with you. I don't want to, again, overstate my welcome on here. I did want to make sure that you guys see that, yeah, they're trying to get there. I still don't think that it's off the table that they can get back here. I know they're not going to make it. It's 2 o'clock. I doubt, they've used up all of what they could do up to this point. Now, again, this is, end of day, 12 o'clock tonight or morning for tomorrow. I doubt they'll get up here today. It's not to say that this isn't on the table for tomorrow. Right? So we're not going to say that that can't happen. Just see if they won't close under here, under this bar. All right, there's a signal here. They already proved that they wasn't going to do it here. So let's just see if they won't do it here, and then maybe tomorrow they'll just keep going up. Hopefully that's the case. I want to say this to you guys that's trading here. You're not a part of my community, but I will tell you, this is not it. This turn isn't the be all to it all. So if they turn around, they're coming under here. If the market decides, because they have to go back here. I told you they left something back in here. That's a problem as well. Now, they don't have to do this tomorrow. They can do it whenever they want. I just want to let you know that this isn't it. They can get back through this. Just want to tell you that my community, we know why. We know exactly why they can get through that. It's just a matter of whether or not they want to do it now or later. That's all. All right, so that's my time with you again. If you're here on the channel and you're having trouble with trading, this is a scenario you definitely want to look for if those 3 things that I just outlined. Okay, so if you're not seeing this on the chart, this is what's happening next. All right, so this is what's happening next. Try to make sure that you make sense of trading. It's not complicated. All right, so if that mid is falling into that prior bar, you're in chop. I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.